The double-height entrance hall in the house is one of the most magnificent rooms. The floor is created from marble and lapis lazuli. Just beside the entrance hall is a small area designed to contain equipment for sports and games, including a miniature cricket bat and a croquet set. There's a working lift to one side, which takes us to other floors of the house. The saloon was a formal room for entertaining by the royal family. The fireplace in this room is created from porphyry, and flanking it is a clock and a barometer. These were created by Cartier, who made many of the clocks within the house, and most of them wind and work. As one of the rooms used by the royal family, this room is lined with silk on the walls and filled with portraits of members of the royal family. There's an extensive suite of giltwood furniture in this room, which is covered in hand-embroidered tapestry covers and a hand-painted piano. The piano does play, although it's so high-pitched it's very difficult to hear by human ear. This room was intended to impress. This is the Queen's bedroom. Everything was created to give a feeling of comfort. The walls are lined in silk, there are carpets on the floor, and lacquer furniture. The bedhead is embroidered with the monogram of George V and Queen Mary entwined together. At the end of the bed we find a plant in a pot. If you look incredibly closely at it, you might see miniature diamonds inserted among the branches, which is actually created by Fabergé. The bedroom has this dramatic ceiling. You can see quite clearly here the use of electric light in the doll's house. On the desk is a miniature of George V, so scaled down, a miniature if you like. On one side is a luxurious bathroom which has an alabaster bath. The overall effect of this room is quite dramatic, but also luxurious and comfortable.
This is the library here in Queen Mary's Doll's House. You might be surprised to know that these books are real books. Inside these books is the handwriting of many of the most significant writers of the 1920s, with around 175 books handwritten in their authors' own hands. Amongst the authors asked to contribute to the Library of Queen Mary's Doll's House are Vita Sackville-West, A.A. Milne, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, amongst many others. The Doll's House is Queen Mary's Doll's House and was made as a gift to Queen Mary, but actually the library is the King's. There are dispatch boxes, the boxes of documents that the King would have to sign daily, and here the King has his boxes ready and waiting for him. As a time capsule of the literature of the 1920s, the Doll's House Library cannot be surpassed.
The kitchen in Queen Mary's Doll's House is really at the heart of the house, and it resembles in miniature many of the kitchens designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens to represent both upstairs life and downstairs life. One of the fascinating things about the Doll's House is that real food was supplied for the kitchens. So on the table we can see some jars of jam, and they contain real jam. There's also a kettle created from a penny, and if we turn it over we can see underneath the King's head. The floor in the kitchen is created from 2,000 individual wooden tiles, but nearer the ranges it turns to slate, and this was because it was much easier to sweep. On the dressers are services marked with a K to show that they belonged in the kitchen. You might notice there are no sinks in the kitchen, and that's because washing up took place in the pantry next door. The kitchen gives a real sense of how a household at this date might have operated. This is the day nursery in Queen Mary's Doll's House. The miniature royal family who were intended to live in the house included a miniature princess and a miniature prince. The nursery is filled with wooden toys suitable for children in the 1920s and includes a miniature train set with a station named Windsor and a theatre with sets from Peter Pan. The hand-painted wallpaper contains stories from fairy tales, including Aladdin. There's a record player in the nursery. This was originally intended to sit elsewhere in the house, but was banished to the nursery because Queen Mary said that the King didn't enjoy them. Royal children at this date would have been expected to spend the day in the nursery, but nevertheless, it's rather a luxurious space.